Hello. I wanted to speak to you as soon as possible about the consultation papers launched on Monday the 15th of November. They are both proposals for reform, one of the legal aid system and the other of civil litigation and costs. You may think that these consultation papers will not affect you. You may appreciate that they will affect access to justice, but I would urge you all to look at these papers closely and consider the effect they will have on the profession as a whole. The proposals for reform of civil litigation and costs are, of course, a response to Lord Jackson's recommendations. We have already published our views on his recommendations, and we stand by those views that there could be a serious reduction in access to justice. Simply put, solicitors will not be able to finance the riskier cases, and many people will be denied access to the compensation they deserve. The planned reforms to legal aid are undoubtedly the most restrictive ever suggested since the inception of the scheme, and the most damaging proposals are the plans to remove from scope whole areas of work, the plans to reduce fees by 10% across the board, the plans to reduce financial eligibility. First of all, I'd like to dispel a myth. It's simply not true to say that spending on legal aid is out of control. In the last 10 years, public expenditure has increased by 95%. The education budget has increased by 100%, and the health budget by 140%. The defence budget increased by 55%. Compare this with the 30% increase on legal aid. In fact, you'd have to go back to the last Conservative government to find a time when the spending on legal aid increased faster than public expenditure. Now I'd like to turn to some of the details. There are plans to remove areas of work from scope, and I'd like to highlight two of these. The suggestion that education can be removed from scope is particularly troubling. Parents need help in challenging decisions made by local authorities which will affect the whole of their children's lives. As many of you know, I'm a clinical negligence lawyer, and I'm horrified by the suggestion that legal aid be removed for clinical negligence claims. This, combined with the Jackson proposals, will lead to a reduction of access to justice for very many people who suffer serious injury. I'm also concerned about the proposals to restrict financial eligibility. This will make it difficult for all clients to access legal aid in future. I'm alarmed by proposals to cut fees by 10% across the board. As noted in the judgment in our recent judicial review, even the most efficient firms do this work for little or no financial reward. Cuts at this level are not sustainable and will only destabilise the system further. So what can we do? Well, I believe this is a genuine consultation. This is our opportunity to make our voices heard. If you have political contacts, then make sure they understand the effect these proposals will have on you and your clients. Make sure that they understand that the consequences are potentially devastating. Devastating for access to justice and devastating for those who rely on us to be their advocates. This is a civilised society. The vulnerable demand our protection, and we should offer it. Thank you.